Natasha, and it's just going to be me today. We're talking about travel and cruise essentials along with our itinerary on the Disney Destiny that we will be going on here in about a week. So the first thing I'm going to discuss is the pixie dust items that we will be bringing. You can choose the pixie dust, you don't have to. It's just up to each individual family and person on whether you want to participate in doing the pixie dust. It's usually small little items that you give out. Cost-wise can be minimal, and you can spend up to a lot if you want to, or you could make something by hand yourself. Typically you put those into what's called a fish extender bag, and you do that next to your cruise door. And this is our fish extender bag. It's got a couple little Mickey pieces that you can attach to make it look more like Mickey. And then I've got a couple pieces coming still to say, who it's for. And then they have different fish extender bags ranging from the 2-pocket or 1-pocket all the way up to 5 pockets. You can make that yourself if you want, if you have the time, or you can buy it. Ours is just off Amazon and not very expensive. The pixie dust that we're bringing is going to range in all different kinds of items. I've got Disney pens and notepads to go along with the pens so that kids or adults, if they need to draw or write something down, make little notes, they can do that during dinner or whenever. It gives you something to do when you're waiting for your food. The other thing I have is different kinds of stickers. I've got a couple Bluey stickers to give away because almost everybody loves Bluey anymore. And the most special and magical thing, if you want to call it magical, is these little stickers. It's got our month, day, and ship that we're going on. These are stickers. They were accidentally given to us because we ordered magnets and the company sent us stickers instead. So I'll be giving out the stickers, not to the same people I'm giving out the personalized magnets. The magnets look exactly the same. They just have a magnet backing. And then along with that, I've got these cool little magnets as well. You can see it more individualized here. They're little magnet stick people. They can bend and you can put them on the door or refrigerator at home. And here's a better picture of them. All the different things you can do with them. I thought that was pretty cool. Along with that, I've got some stickers, not very many stickers. These are for Pirate Night. Just some good little stickers for Pirate Night. And the most thing I thought that would be fun and keep kids busy is these bands. It's almost like a watch. You wear it on your wrist and it actually lights up, and then you can kind of see the little spinning thing that spins around. And so it'll just keep kids busy when they're waiting in line or something like that. Along with that, I also have, because we're traveling right before Valentine's Day, I've got some different hearts that we'll be giving out on people's doors if we like their door. I thought that would be a good way to tell them that we like their door. The other thing I have is some Spider-Man keychains, because Spider-Man's on the back of the boat, and who doesn't love Spider-Man? Seems like that's America's favorite hero anymore, besides of course Captain America. With those, there are some Valentine cards, so we can give those out as well if we choose to do that, since it, like I said, we're going right around Valentine's, and a lot of people tend to like that. And last but not least is, I won't open this box because I don't want to risk ruining them, but I have sunglasses, little kids sunglasses that go inside a little Spider-Man box. So in case some kids have forgot sunglasses or they need them, we'll give those out as well. I'm going to let my kids participate in giving out the pixie dust items too. And that looks like all I have for pixie dust, but I thought that was a good amount. Most of that stuff ranges from around 20 something items per different item that I brought. You can bring more or less. It's really up to you. The personal use magnets always seem to be a hit, so I always do suggest to bring more of those if you can, at least 50 or more. I ended up buying 50 and I had to buy more because they seem to be that popular. So we'll then go on from there to the next item that I'll discuss, and that is most popular magnet hooks. A lot of people wonder what kind of magnet hooks to get. Mine are all stuck together because magnets do that. I bought the most heavy duty ones that you can find off Amazon. I think they support up to like 110 pounds. I highly suggest doing that because it's just never strong enough. They will slide easily if you buy the lightweight ones. And along with those, a lot of people don't need them, but if you bring hats, it's a good place to hang your hat. Or if you have a lanyard for your phone or the lanyard for the Key to the World card, those are good places to hang those. Or swimsuits is the other good spot to hang your swimsuit. So along with that, another important one that seems to be popular is there's never enough outlets on the cruise ship or in your room. So I highly suggest to bring a USB tower. This did well for us. It didn't take any extra long to get through security or wherever they go to check it. This does have a bit of a long cord, and I did hear today that they're starting to possibly take these away or make them take longer to get to you. I'm not sure how true that is, but that was just one person on Facebook. So try to find one that plugs directly into the wall. I'm going to try to bring it, and hopefully it passes. We'll see. It's mainly, we have magic bands that we will be using. Here's one of our Magic Plus bands, and that's what these will be used for because it holds just enough, plus one or two little extra spots. Just make sure everything, is not frayed. I think that's what they're looking for, and that everything looks good on the USB tower. The other thing we're going to be discussing is towel clips. Not only are they good for beach towels, but you can, hang up your swimsuits or stuff to dry in your room, on the clothesline in the bathroom. But I've got, it says 8 of those. I don't know if we're going to bring all 8. There's 4 people of us, so we'll at least bring 4. You want to make sure you have those. Those are handy for when something needs to dry, or you can bring towel straps if you're just wanting to keep the towel secure to the chair so it doesn't blow away. The other thing that we will be bringing is, this is a cup holder. A lot of people don't think to bring this. If it's just 1 or 2 of you, you might not need one, but we've got 4 people in our family. We tried to use it on our last cruise. It didn't work very well with the small little cups that Disney provides. So I highly suggest to bring a Yeti or Stanley style cup. Those will work a lot better in that cup holder. I should have brought in one on our first cruise. I just didn't think about it at the time. So definitely bringing that this time. And we're going to use that along with cups. You're going to want to bring a stainless steel telescoping straw. This is very small. See how small it is? You can clip it to your pants or your bag. Ours come with, well, they're upstairs right now, but a little brush that you can clean it with, and this little rubberish piece on the end to protect your mouth. But it just does that, and it's super handy. We use them in Disneyland, and they're great for the Disney World as well, because Disney has gone away from plastic straws. So definitely bring these. We have them in different colors, so then you know whose is whose. Along with that, you might want to bring, if you like snorkeling or seeing what's in the water, a snorkel mask. They're very handy, and we all have one in our family. Well, I don't know if my youngest does because he's only 5, will be 6. So you might not want to do that for the youngest in your family, or get the ones that go just over the eyes, but they're very handy. You don't want to rent the ones from the islands because they don't give good suction. So I highly suggest to bring your own snorkel mask. The other thing that you'll want to bring is a medication bag. I discussed this in our little short not too long ago. I'm just gonna this time mention, don't forget to bring it. Bring it in your backpack or your carry-on that will be with you, because otherwise it could get lost. If your luggage gets lost, you don't have it. You'll want that motion sick medicine. You want, if you're gonna any pain or fevers, you want to have this stuff because it's very expensive on the boat. The other thing you're going to want to have is for your cell phone, one of these bags to keep it safe from getting wet. When you put your phone in here, you can also put in your key to the world card. I highly suggest doing that, and then any other important cards or cash you might want to have with you. We've had these for a while and they're super handy, not just on cruises, you can use them on other vacations as well. The other thing that a lot of people might not think of is a gift card. Let's see if I can find one. It can be an empty gift card. I always have something that's almost empty. I use them often for random things. But you're gonna want to at least have one, because the lights will not stay on if you don't have that in the little switch thing when you get into your room. And then you can pull it out when you leave. I highly suggest pulling it out, or at least lifting it up so you're just not burning through the electricity. The stateroom host will try to at least lift it or take it out if you leave it in there. The other thing I highly suggest bringing that I don't have with me at the moment is a beach bag for when you're on the islands, or if you're going to the beach or a pool. I don't have one and I don't plan to bring one. That's simply because we're silver members and they usually give you a bag when you get to your room, and that's what I plan to use. From there, another type of bag you're going to want to have is a Ziploc bag. At least more than one size and more than one Ziploc bag. You never know when you're going to need them. You can stick snacks in there. You can put your phone in there if you don't want to bring that prior bag I showed you. You can put swimsuits in there if they're still wet. You can put all kinds of things in there. I suggest, like I said, different sizes. So quart size, gallon size. You can put your toiletries in there if you don't want to bring a toiletry bag, and so forth. They're just handy. You never know when you're going to use one. From there, you're going to also, because it's usually very sunny where most people are going, bring sunglasses. These are the ones I've got. They're just cheap. I think it was a 3-pack I got off Amazon. I don't travel with my expensive ones simply because I don't want to risk losing something that's, a few $100s. And also, the other thing I don't have that's down here is a hat. I will be bringing a hat. I like to wear hats to keep the sun out of my face, and then you don't have to wear as much sunscreen. Make sure you bring a hat. There's different kinds of hats you can get. If you're a guy, most guys like to wear the ones with the big billfolds, or for a girl, more of the big sun hats work as well. They do make ones that roll down really small. That's probably what I'm going to bring this time. And then you can squish it into your suitcase where you can find space. The other important thing is you'll want to bring, if you take any medicine or vitamin besides like these, this is more of like, emergency stuff you may or may not need. Definitely bring any vitamins or medicine that you have. That is also something that you would want to keep in your carry-on or in your backpack with you when you are traveling and when you are getting on the ship especially. Someone actually asked in our Facebook cruise date group today whether or not they should have that on them. And someone actually did say in our Facebook group that they saw the big lift thing that had tons of suitcases on it dump all the suitcases into the ocean by accident, and that they had to wait for one passenger to now have to get new medication because it got wet and ruined. So don't be that person who has to wait or hold the ship. Just make sure you keep it on you, because you never know when something like that is going to happen. The other thing you're going to want to have is a book or your Kindle or both. That typically goes in your backpack or your carry-on when you're traveling. But if you don't want to carry it in there and you want to throw it into your big suitcase, this is my big suitcase I'll be using. It's the biggest one in the family because us as women, we usually have to bring more stuff. You can throw it in there, but if you're bringing a Kindle, I probably would not suggest throwing that into your suitcase and keeping that with you because those can be expensive. The most important thing that you should have, which I should have started with first, is your passport. Make sure you're bringing your passport. If you're on a closed loop cruise, and this gets asked all the time, you don't need to have a passport. You can travel with a birth certificate, but if something were to happen to you when you're on that cruise, it's going to be really hard to get home. I just highly suggest to have a passport. I know it costs a lot of money and you might not use it again. Just get it. You never know when you're going to need it. They last for adults 10 years, for children, I think it depends on the age of the kid, 5 to 7 years. So, and then along with having a passport, this is my passport book. I like this one because it looks like the ocean and can hold cards in it as well. And this is RFID blocking. I highly suggest getting one that's RFID blocking, just because I've had at least 2 times in the last few years someone steal our credit cards, so to speak, identity theft, just by simply scanning something against my purse or my phone. And so all those extra hoops you gotta jump through for that. So make sure if you don't have an RFID blocking cover, you have, I don't have any with me, they have sell little card ones that you can buy, and you put your cards in those RFID blocking slips and keep that in your passport cover if that's where you want to store them, or with your phone. Just keep that RFID protection on your card somehow. The other thing you're going to want to bring besides that is cash. I know a lot of people say cash is king. It seems like the Disney ship is kind of going away from cash, so you probably won't need a ton of it. You will want to bring some for tipping porters and room service. Room service is included on Disney ships, but there is highly suggesting to tip the people that bring you your food. $1 per plate at minimum. You can tip more than that if you want to. Along with tipping room service and porters, you may want to tip your excursion guides. So depending on how long your cruise is, I would just bring, a minimum of $100, I would say, up to however much you want to bring. If you don't use all the cash, you can always bring it home. From there, I think I covered everything besides, make sure you're bringing either a carry-on or a suitcase. There's different sizes. I've got the larger size, I think at around 26 or 28 inches. And then my husband would have the next size up from that, and my 2 kids have around the 24-inch size. And you can always move your stuff around, your clothes, to different suitcases if you're worried about something getting lost, so then not everybody's luggage gets lost all at once. If you wanted to shift your stuff between all the different suitcases, so then you would still have something just in that case. We've never done that, but we might start and see how it goes that way. Just don't forget all the other important things that go along with packing, especially on a Disney cruise. You're gonna also want to include your mini ears if you like to wear mini ears. But I won't go any further on that. The next thing we'll talk about is compression bags, because you'll want to have those for any souvenirs you buy, and you'll also want pop-up laundry hamper. Can't really see what it is very well here. You can kind of see it there in that picture. That'll be helpful to keep your clothes off the floor. And also want to bring a towel straps. I mentioned those earlier, but there's the actual towel straps. They're just like big rubber bands. You wrap them around the chair and you pull it tight to keep that towel from moving. And if there's anything else that you might think of, let us know so we can add it to our packing list. And then we also are bringing, I mentioned Pirate Night earlier, pirate costumes. I had to get a couple new ones for my children because they are just growing kids, of course. And so we all are bringing those. You don't have to participate, but a lot of people do. It's fun to participate. You just want to have fun, right? Life is about having fun and not stressing out as much. So I bought those, and I will be bringing, along with that, some jewelry, pirate jewelry, to go with my pirate costume. I have a couple shoulder buddies that are little parrots that Disney sold, so I'll be bringing those to go with my pirate costume. Or if any of my family wants to use those. And then, what do I got here that's left? Oh. So, now I'm going to start discussing a bit of our itinerary to discuss this next item that I'm going to show. We are leaving a couple days before the cruise, so we have a full day there to explore the area, we will be having a rental car, and we can drive around and see the different sites. They've got a Disney warehouse in Fort Lauderdale, which is where we're going, and we'll probably check that out along with some local food joints and stuff like that. We will probably go to a retail store in case we forget something, and then of course, get liquor or anything else we might need for the cruise. So because we have the rental car and we've used this when we went to Disneyland, we will use it again. It's in a nice little baggie, which is handy. It's called the Bubble Bum. It's a booster seat that blows up and you use it in a car. I would not recommend this for probably anything younger than a 3-year-old. Probably at least a 4-year-old would be ideal. A 3-year-old could probably use it. It's a little questionable though. My son will be 6 when we go on the cruise. And so we're bringing that. It folds really small. We can pack it in our suitcase. And then it's just handy for when you're in a regular rental car. So with that itinerary, we actually have 2 separate hotels before we are actually on the cruise ship. We will be staying at the Hyatt Plantation Hotel for one night. It was after the fact we had already booked the other hotel, which is the Hilton Marina Hotel, which has the Disney Cruise Line transportation. We are taking that. It did get us earlier boarding. We should be in the boarding group. Currently, we're in boarding group 4. Because we have the rental car and we'll just be doing our own thing, I'm thinking we'll be able to get down into boarding group 3. That's the hope anyway. We're going to try to check in right at 3 o'clock when they get there to get us onto the boat just a little bit faster so we have more time. Because there's a couple of things we need to do when we get on the ship. Because my oldest is in a room with his grandpa, and so we need to, once we're on the boat, make sure that he is on our photo package, so he's included in all the pictures. But that's a side note. We won't talk much more about that. So we've got the 2 separate hotels. The first one, the Hyatt, we're all sharing a room together, all 5 of us, grandpa included. It offers free breakfast. And then the second one, the Hilton Marina, we have 2 separate rooms. Grandpa will have his own room, and we'll have our own room, because typically those rooms only hold up to 4 people. So that one does not offer free breakfast though. And we will get rid of the rental car the night before we board the cruise, because it'll be one less thing we have to worry about on cruise morning. We don't want to have to stress out more and rush to get, the rental car to and from the airport and whatnot. We just want to be focusing on waking up early enough to get in line when we need to and get breakfast and all that stuff. Our cruise, just to go further with the itinerary, it will be to Nassau in the Bahamas for a day. We've got the other port is also Lookout Key, the Disney private island. So technically, just to give you an idea, we've got Hyatt Plantation, then we go to the Hilton Marina, and then the following day is our embarkation day for the Disney Destiny. Then we've got a day at sea, and then we go to Nassau, and then we go to Lookout Key, and then we have another day at sea, and then we disembark the following day. So it's a 5-night cruise, and that's our itinerary. From there, regarding packing items, we've got the toiletries. I briefly mentioned that. Something that most people don't think about. Bring a chafe stick if you can. If it's not too late. You never know when you're going to chafe, especially when you're wearing swim trunks or swimsuits. That chafing can really cause issues, and you don't want to be in pain or hurting. And then, of course, I am a girl and I like to bring mini ears, so I'll be bringing a few of those. I won't show those though. And then just reference our little video that we did for the backpack on what you would bring for when you're on the airplane. What else do I have? So this is a hot topic in debate. When you are packing, you will likely want to use packing cubes. These are the packing cubes that I like to use. We have several different kinds. We have regular packing cubes, and then we've got, here's a better up close one of this brand that I like. I'll show you a smaller one. These are Bagolini. I like Bagolini. They have multiple different things through the company, but they're compression ones. Compression ones give you a little bit more space, so if you need to fit more stuff in your suitcase, you can. Problem is with fitting more stuff in is then it gets close to the weight limit. So I always highly advise before you leave your house, weigh that suitcase. If you're close to the limit and you have other people, you can juggle some stuff around. If you don't have other people, then you're kind of SOL and you have to pay for when your bag is over the limit. So that's why I highly recommend to weigh your stuff before you leave. A couple other things I did not mention when you pack, when you're going on a cruise and you have little kids. Bring stand toys. This is a what do you call it? Can't think of the right word right now. It's a bucket. It still has sand in it from Castaway Cay. Comes down, it folds down, compact. It's nice to have for when you go to the beach. So bring some of those. We also have some other shovels that he got for Christmas and his stockings that he'll also be bringing. And then last but definitely not least, besides the packing cubes, is we always travel with this type of bag. It's like a knockoff fully. Just turns into like a regular tote, and it can expand on the bottom. Highly suggest getting something like that, a Fully or a different brand. It just comes really in handy when you're trying to come home with extra souvenirs, so you don't have to stress about fitting at all. And you know, I'm the only one that'll have my 2 items already. Everybody else will just be traveling with a backpack. So as long as you're traveling with more than one other person, make somebody else carry that souvenir bag on the way home. And I think that covers all the packing things for the trip. Just remember to, of course, pack swimsuits and swimsuit cover-ups. And it's always good when you're on a cruise ship to bring like a cardigan or a jacket or a hoodie, something lightweight in case you get cold inside those restaurants or when you're on the pool deck at night and it's windy. So that'll be nice and good to have. One other thing we could bring, but I probably won't be, is a popcorn bucket. We have one that we bought on our last Disney cruise, but since we're going on a new cruise ship, the Destiny, I'm just gonna buy one when we get there. So then we have one that says the Destiny. The plastic ones that are round with Disney, they're only I think around $10, so they're not super expensive, and the refills are like $2. Get it on the first day you get on the cruise ship, so then you get good use out of it. Popcorn's pretty good. We liked it and we ate through it consistently. And then let's make sure. Oh, and one other thing I should mention besides all the other stuff I've already talked about is if you like to snorkel, make sure you bring your own snorkel mask. We rented snorkel masks on our first Disney cruise, and they did not suction well to the face. We both have struggled and had a hard time keeping that seal against the face, me and my oldest. And so we're bringing our own this time, and they're the full face ones. There's a lot of debate on if the full face ones are good or not. I might end up getting just one that goes more over the eyes. I'm not sure yet, but we'll at least be bringing those. Apparently there's good places to snorkel at Lookout Cay, so we'll probably be doing a little bit of that as well. They are kind of bulky though, and they do take up some space. So besides that, I think I've covered everything that we need to discuss regarding the Disney cruise. There are various sizes of suitcases. You don't have to bring the largest one that you can find to buy. You can bring a medium-sized one. My husband and kids have more of the medium size. I think they're more like 24 or 26 inches. I think this one might be a 28. I'm not 100% sure. If you don't have a suitcase, I highly suggest getting a different colored suitcase, one that's not silver or black. This is hard to tell with the lighting down here. It's kind of like a champagne color. When you get a different color, it's easier to spot when you're at the airport and you're going to get your luggage because of that color standing out more. You know it's yours. I don't know if you can see it on my suitcase. I got this a long time ago, and it helps my bag to stand out when we're at the airport. So sometimes just putting like a little ribbon or a tag maybe that has your name on it can be helpful, and then you can find your bag even easier and faster. Other than that, I think I actually, yep. Speaking of earlier how I lost those pins, I just found them! Yay! So I can return the other ones, hopefully. We'll see. At this point, there's not much else you should needing to worry about when it comes to packing for the cruise besides actually, you know, folding the stuff and packing it. Hopefully you've thought about the outfits you want to bring. I have already know all the outfits I'm wearing each day except for the one day that we're just chilling at Fort Lauderdale or exploring. I haven't decided on that day. It helps to have a kind of a rough idea of what you want to wear each day. We're trying to theme to the different restaurants. It makes it just a little bit easier. Then you know what shirts you have to bring. You don't have to match restaurants, or you could dress as a, you know, a character. That's what I plan to do, not dress as the character. They call it Disney bounding, and it just gives me something, so then, you know, it's one less thing to worry about, and I got all that figured out. So if there's anything else I'm forgetting, I will make another video. Otherwise, feel free to leave any questions or comments and we will respond, and make sure we get you those links if you want the links to the items that I've shown you. Most of the stuff I did get through Amazon, so you can just search for that item on Amazon and I'm sure that plenty will come up. But we'll see you real soon, and I'll be making videos throughout our trip when we're on the trip, and we'll most likely be posting them once we're back though, so you probably won't see any more content unless we want to do something quick before we leave. See ya. Bye.